Hello, how are you? I'm Matthew, host of Truth from the Booth. Thanks for making space for me and my guest today. 30 months ago, a piece of land in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia became more than just a property for PJ McKay. It became a place of survival, uncertainty, resilience, and community. On today's show, we step inside the reality of life at the Green Road encampment. What does it do to a person mentally and emotionally when they first arrive with nowhere else to go? And after 2.5 years of fierce winters, relentless summer heat, and being exposed to the elements, how does that experience change someone? I'll ask PJ about the daily obstacles, the new rules, the services coming into the property, and the ongoing conversations about what happens next as the encampment faces a future closure timeline. Who are the people living in the tents? Where are they coming from? What are the barriers that continue to push people into being unhoused? And what would a real home look like after years of surviving outdoors? We also explore health, connection, isolation, and the importance of companionship, including the bonds people form with their pets while navigating life without four walls. This is a conversation about humanity, housing, and what happens when survival becomes someone's everyday reality. I really appreciate Folked Up Radio airing my independent shows on Sundays and allowing me to share my wonderful uninterrupted conversation with PJ McKay next. I was built to keep things out, to divide, to protect, to mark a boundary. I've surrounded construction sites, ball fields, and places where people said, "This needs to be secured." But when they brought me here, they placed me around an encampment, and I need to tell you what I see. I see people waking up every morning behind steel wires, not because they committed a crime, but because they have nowhere else to go. A sleeping bag becomes a bedroom, a tent becomes a home, a backpack becomes a closet, a shopping cart becomes a lifeline. I hear conversations that never make it into council chambers. I hear people asking, "Did anyone find housing today?" I hear, "Are you warm enough?" I hear strangers sharing food, checking on neighbors, and watching out for each other when the rest of the world walks by. I hear children's names. I hear stories of jobs lost, families separated, health struggles, rising rents, and people trying to survive another night. Politicians, you need to understand something. I'm a fence. I'm not a solution. When you put me around a person experiencing homelessness, I don't create safety. I create a message. The message is, you are something to contain. But the people I surround are not hazards. They're human beings. You ask me what I've witnessed? I've witnessed resilience. I've witnessed dignity. I've witnessed people helping people in a place the world often ignores. If you want to use me around a garden, a playground, a construction site, places where barriers make sense. But don't use me to separate yourselves from a crisis you have the power to address. Because every night I stand here, I am reminded, the real barrier isn't the fence. It's the distance between compassion and action. So thank you for making time to do this, PJ. I appreciate it.
No problem.
I just want to let people know that a refresher for the audience. You and I first met in January of 2024. This is your 4th time on this radio program. Your first appearance was October of 2024. Again in April 2025, January of this year, and here you are again in June, getting ready for your 3rd summer. So just as per usual, just kind of gone through your limited social media post, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. So just the who, what, when, where, how, and why of PJ McKay, who is getting ready for their 3rd summer at the Green Road encampment. I want to start off by obviously giving you an opportunity to do most of the talking. This is the most people are going to hear from me. What was it like mentally and emotionally when you first pulled onto that property about 30 months ago? That's a huge number. About 30 months ago you arrived there. What were the thoughts going through your head then? And here you are 30 months later. How do you feel now?
Well, the way it was then, it was a lot like a community space. They welcomed me. I felt comfortable. I was nervous at the first. But today, it's like, I want out of here bad. Right now, they're not too bad with me, but there's all the people stealing from each other. There's the subuse is not respecting the others around. It's crazy.
Is it fair to say that you have played different roles there?
Yes.
So what are some of the different responsibilities that you have taken on? And remember, this is a piece of property in Dartmouth. It's one of 2 remaining designated encampments. There was security there a while ago.
Yes. For a short term.
So what is it? So the responsibilities, how were you first accepting of these responsibilities? Like, how did that stuff fall on your shoulders?
Uh, oh, roughly a month after I come out here, my other half had passed away, my boyfriend. And to fill the time in and try to get over it, I got myself involved. That's what I'm putting together. That's the reason I got involved in doing like an on-site volunteer. I started helping in the lunch tent, serving meals. Now today, I'm picking up needles and anything to do with mainline. Every once in a while, if mainline can't come in when it's gift card day, I hand them out for her. I try to notify the city every week of exactly how many people are here for water. If anything happens, I let them know, like if there's one of the outhouses unusable because we only have 2, I do photos and send to the compliance so that they will get on to getting it cleaned up for us.
Okay, that's wonderful. What are some of the, that's a wonderful thing that you're doing. It comes with great responsibility, but it also comes with consequences. What have been some of the consequences of your ability to help other people?
Well,
because not everyone sees it the same way, right?
Yeah. Well, lately, people that's up here today seem to understand what I'm doing, but there has been in the past some people just frowning on me and thinking that, oh, she don't have a disability if she can do all this stuff. Well, I do have a disability, but the thing is, my conditions, yes, I am at risk of paralyzing myself with some of the stuff I do up here. But I'm not there yet. And things need to be done.
How many people currently
What's that?
How many people currently are occupying space there at the Green Road encampment?
There is 20 people and 5 dogs.
Okay. Right now, in the early part of June 2026, there's 20 people there, 5 dogs. In the 2.5 years that you have been there, how many dozens of people do you think you have seen come and go through that property?
Oh my, I don't know. There was my first summer here, there was at least 50 people.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we get into any further discussion, I think you should be documenting this stuff. You should be writing this down, because what you are experiencing is definitely worthy of some type of publication, for sure, which is why I appreciate people in your situation sharing your stories with me. Let's move on to, I want people to understand that you are in this open field in Dartmouth. I could walk a kilometer up the road on the Halifax side of the harbor where I am, and I used to be able to, with binoculars, see the encampment. I can't see that now because of the high rises that are going up there. But you are in this open field. So if you could talk to my audience about the fierce winters, the inescapable summer heat, which is, this is being recorded on a Tuesday morning. We are expecting hot temperatures this week. How does being exposed to the elements wear a person down? You can speak specifically about yourself, but how do you see it affect others in this open space, whether it's in a snowstorm or sweltering heat?
Well, in a snowstorm, I'm sitting, I have a camper here. I'm sitting in my camper when we have heavy storms, rain or snow. And with all the heavy winds, there is times it feels like my camper is going to tip over or get up and move to the next side. And keep them dry when it's raining. I got to try to keep a tarp over my camper, and that's the same with people with the tents. If you don't have a tarp, there's a good chance your tent I know my camper will leak, and everything will get moldy, and you got to throw everything out.
How many times have you seen that scenario play out? People's belongings getting ruined over and over, starting over and over and over again.
I have lost count. I've even had my own belongings. I'm still cleaning up from that exact thing happening.
Can you kind of give me a ballpark figure of the percentage of your belongings that you no longer have due to the fact that you're in this camper, due to downsizing? Like, how much of your stuff, how much of your life, material stuff, have you lost over the years, PJ?
Well, I've lost maybe about 75% of what I brought from my home out here.
Wow.
And I have, every time I've lost clothing and that, I would have it replaced, and then it would get ruined. I started with storage containers for food and clothing.
It's pretty hard to keep anything safe, secure, away from the elements. If it's in some type of container, it doesn't really matter the brand. If that is outside in a tent, in some makeshift structure, eventually it's going to get damaged, right? You need to be inside. You so badly need to be inside.
Yes, eventually it will get damaged, but I'm very lucky that there is a few storage containers that I had from the house that actually held up to all of this weather abuse in the big tent I had.
Big tents, a lot of tents on that property. I was over there for a visit with you last weekend. Can you kind of paint a picture of the current conditions? And I want you to speak specifically about the city, the contractor showing up and putting in these metal poles. What are some of the rules? What's currently happening on that property? And I want people to keep in mind that all the money that's being spent, put into this property, this encampment is slated to be closed in November of 2027, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what's happening right there at this property, the Green Road encampment in Dartmouth, currently, PJ McKay?
Okay, they put metal poles in, 15 of them. They're to gauge, you're to have 10 feet around that pole for your tent. By my understanding is what they're doing is they're trying to have, like, where in the past people would make a mess in their spot and then move across the other field. Now you're stuck to this pole now. You can't move across the field. You got to clean up your mess if you're going to put a new tent up.
20 people there currently. How many poles in the ground do you think are currently there? And do you think
there's 15?
There's 15. Okay. So have you heard any chatter about there being a limit to the number of people who can occupy space there? 15 poles, 20 people, like what's happening there? That doesn't make any sense.
The only reason that numbers are so different is because there is couples. There's an individual tent that's only here for a few weeks until the end of the month. They're getting an apartment. There's 3 people in that one. But yeah, there's a lot of them, they're couples.
Okay. That makes sense. Actually, when I was up there last weekend with Jen and Mariah, fortunate enough to be able to handing out some packages from Hugs, definitely seeing structures with more than one person.
Yeah.
I just said that the city says, the HRM, that these 2 encampments are slated to close. You're in an encampment that's slated to close next November. I'm just curious.
November 2027.
Okay, so tell me and tell the audience, where are you? Who are you in direct talks with that you, when this, if not before, when this property closes to the unhoused, where are you in conversations with someone helping you get inside proper four walls?
Oh, I have Welcome Housing. I have Shelter Nova Scotia, and a few others actually trying to find me an apartment. We have talked about applying. I don't know why Shelter Nova Scotia never thought of it before now, but applying to the Highfield Park. And because they're allowed dogs apparently. That's where my problem is, because of my dog.
Yeah, that can be an obstacle for a lot of people. One of the sticking points for you not really being interested until now was your camper. So you're willing to ease up on the release of that? What's happening with the camper?
Well, as long as it's this camper itself, yes, I will let it go, because it is really bad condition. The ceiling's starting to come down in the front and everything. It's like, I already knew I had to do a lot of work, but it's more than I expected. But I have been looking at, if I don't soon get out of here, I've been looking at doing a swap out, because I'm allowed one swap out.
What do you mean swap out? What's that term mean? Explain that to me.
That means that I'm allowed to get another camper and get rid of this one. So if I was to do that, then the option of the camper will be back the way it used to be. It must come.
Well, I would think if that was an option, that the camper would be parked in a more permanent location. If you were just going to continue to live in a camper, going to a property that's going to close next year, it's such a chaotic mess, and I just can't believe that you are getting ready for your third summer over there. I just want to go back to the rules, and just in regards to the tent pole and people having to stay within that 10-foot radius, what you've seen over 30 months, what is the likelihood of people following the rules as we get ready for a summer season? And we know, because you've told me, there are people during the summer, you find more people outside in tents in the summer, because it's an opportunity for people to, let's be honest, be a little bit lawless. So do you expect rules to be followed?
Nope. I expect the compliance will be up here a lot, running people out or doing whatever. I've already mentioned to them about putting a couple more poles up, and they said no.
Well, you know what that is? When that's taxpayers' money being spent on compliance officers going up to try and enforce rules. These people, you're outside. Give me a break. Let's start, as Andrew Goodsell will tell you every single time on every social media post that he puts out there, public housing for all.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, let's move on real quick here. PJ, I appreciate your time. You're just such a fabulous guest, whether it's on the radio or we're sharing screen time. I always ask you, what are your eating habits like? Like, when was the last time you actually sat down and enjoyed a meal? Like, I know that you appreciate the gift cards that people bring you, but I'm just curious, on a scale of, like, how healthy do you feel? If you don't mind me asking, I'm not here to pry. Give us as much as you want.
Not really as healthy as I could. Like, there's a rarity to be able to get a proper hot meal, home-cooked hot meal up here. And that's the best you could have. And I have found this year, I've been getting sick a lot more.
Well, that could be because of the condition of the camper. And anyone who has spent any time, if you spent the winter and the spring here in Nova Scotia, you know that April and May, really right up until like last week, has been an extremely long roller coaster of weather systems that have rolled through this area. So, and that's one of the reasons that this conversation is delayed, that you were a bit under the weather, and I'm glad that you're able to find the strength to have this conversation. I want to go back just quickly, if you can. The 20 people that are there, do you have a sense of where people are coming from? I know you said there are couples there. There have been families there. Aside from yourself, well, everyone, no one should be there, but is there anyone that really sticks out to you?
Some of them had come from shelters. They had broken the rules and gotten kicked out. Some shelters are very strict. You do one no, you're gone. And others just issues in their housing environment, and they're just in between homes, like I say, with these 3 that's here with one little dog. They're only here for a few weeks just because they had nowhere to go while waiting for their apartment to get ready.
Rules. If you can just answer this for me, and I just want to be the devil's advocate for a moment, because people will say, they might hear this radio broadcast and just think to themselves, why can't those folks just follow the rules? What would you say to that? What frame of mind, what type of mindset are the people in out there where they don't obey the rules?
I would say that I've questioned that myself, but I took a good look, and it's because, number one, nice weather gets people yancy to get outside. And then there's substance use that affects some people. And then there's this, some people just don't get along with other people.
Yeah, different energies, for sure.
Yeah.
In a confined space with a bunch of other different energies, which why I've never been an advocate for putting people into shelters. I want to talk quickly. Well, I want to give you the chance to talk about obstacles in the 30 months that you have been on that property. What are some of the consistent daily obstacles, if any, or other obstacles that you see people faced with trying to find housing specifically?
People in general, I think the biggest one would be the cost of housing.
Yeah, I agree. The cost of living,
yes,
is
way too high.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people don't know about the rent subsidy and that will help. Some people, it's pets, like my case. I have my dog. And I will not let him go for an apartment. That's cruel.
Well, yeah, you're not going to give up a family member to get inside
No.
four walls. Then you're inside four walls and you don't have your companion. That makes absolutely zero sense. Can I give you an opportunity to give a shout out to the service providers, like who is showing up to check in on the residents there, and how are they assisting you, PJ?
Well, there's Rob and Emily from Shelter Nova Scotia. They check in. They will get what you need to live out here. Like, they'll give me baby wipes, batteries, tarps, tape, rope, tents, whatever we need to survive. And then there's Mainline. That's Diane. She comes up not every morning anymore, but she'll come up and say hi to everybody and give everybody a cigarette. Twice a week she gives us a gift card. And Sarah and Wyatt, Ashton. Oh, there's a whole list of people from the city, people that actually comes up here and checks up on us and makes sure our outhouses are done, our garbage is emptied, the yard is cleaned. Just recently they spent a big deal of money on doing a cleanup up here.
Yeah, I just saw a story actually where the municipality of Truro spent $50,000 to clean up an encampment in that location. We talked just a few more things, just a few more moments of your time, PJ. I've always said that any type of policies, regulations that are being made should have someone who is experiencing it at the round table. They're putting metal holes in the ground. What would what would you have suggested? How would PJ McKay like to see this property look and function with a limited, like 18 months and counting? What would make more sense to you than metal poles in the ground?
Well, with that limited time, why even put any money into doing anything up here except for continuing the way we were going with the outhouses and garbage cans? As it stands, like, they were also worried about fires too. Well, we haven't had no fires for a little bit now in this way. Like, yes, in the outhouses, but not the tents. And everybody was already spaced out. So putting the poles up or anything, it don't make sense to me. Just leave it the way it was, because you're closing us down in a year and a half at that.
And I'd like people to, this is the visual that I would give individuals. Can you, actually, I'll let you do it. You do this on my live show. This pole that's in the ground, how would you compare it to chaining up your dog?
I looked at a couple of the guys and thanked them for a pole for to tie my dog on.
That's exactly.
Because it's nice and deep.
Yes, yeah, and even the strength of your dog is not going to move that pole. But I just want to give my audience just a visual reference that this pole on the ground, like, it's something that you would see in someone's backyard, that they would have, their family pet, whether it be a dog or a pig or a goat or whatever, giving it a 10-foot radius, basically saying, do not go any further away and keep your area clean, which the cleanliness, and a lot of people go on about the cleanliness of encampments. When you're outside, your belongings contained without four walls is absolutely nearly impossible.
Yes.
I just, one more moment. You have been making some recent conversations with reporters, local news outlets. What are you trying to convey to them in their evening news clip?
Well, basically what I'm trying to say, like, for myself, yes, I'm actually looking for a place for me and my dog and my rabbit. I'd like to see everybody be able to get a place, an apartment, not a shelter, but an apartment where you can say it's home and you can live by yourself. That's what I'd like to see. Like, these big high rises that's going up, put the prices affordable for people that's in this position, for us to be able to get housing.
How long have you, I just want to clarify, born and raised in Nova Scotia?
No, I was born in PEI, raised in New Brunswick, Deer Island. I moved in Nova Scotia 2005.
2005, okay. Would returning to those other provinces be something that would be on your radar? Or is Nova Scotia, no Nova Scotia is it?
I'm rooted here. This is where I belong.
What makes you, I'm curious, and we'll leave it at that, but I'm curious, what is it about Nova Scotia where you're like, yep, this is it? What's the draw for you?
I don't know. It's just, I came here, wanting to start a new life, get away from everything and everybody, because I was felt outcasted anyhow. So I come here and said, you know what? I don't need my family. I can make a new family. And that's what I did when I come here. I met some people. They were really good to me. They're like family. This is where I belong.
Well, I'm glad that all of your life's choices led you to where you are, so that I had the opportunity to, with my life choices, meet you at that property in January of 2024. PJ McKay, one of the residents at one of the final two designated encampments in the HRM at the Green Road encampment. PJ, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
And now for something completely different. The classic Canadian television series The Littlest Hobo is officially getting a reboot, with Canadian actor, comedian, writer, and producer Seth Rogen teaming up with Evan Goldberg to bring a new live-action drama version to audiences. The project is being produced through Point Grey Pictures in partnership with Lionsgate Canada and Crave. The original Canadian series became a major part of Canadian pop culture. It first appeared in the 1960s and was famously revived on CTV from 1979 to 1985. The story followed an intelligent stray German shepherd known as Hobo, who traveled from place to place, helping people in trouble before moving on to his next adventure. Rogen and Goldberg have said the series was part of their childhood, and the reboot aims to introduce the character and themes of kindness, loyalty, and helping others to a new generation. Details about casting, filming dates, and a release date have not yet been announced. The reboot also highlights a growing trend of revisiting Canadian classics, bringing familiar stories back with modern production styles while keeping their original spirit intact. Maybe tomorrow, I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. I'm Matthew. Back to the music on Canada's #1 folk station, 99.9 FM Perth Andover, and folkedupradio.com.